Hey guys, my name is Tila Herman. Today is Tuesday, February the 13th of 2015. I need to get this video journal done. I want to talk to you about how I got started with blogging, aka how I continue to get leads today. Before I had ever even heard of P90X, Tony Horton, Sean T, all those, Shalene Johnson, all these amazing people that are changing my life, I watched a documentary on Netflix called Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead. That title drew my attention. My husband told me to watch it. I'm not going to spoil it for you. It changed my life. If you've not seen it, watch it. You'll really get interested in juicing. Long story short, I did a bunch of research and decided in February 2013 I was going to start a 40-day juice fast that coincided with Lent because I knew two things. Number one, I was going to need to lean on my faith. I was going to need to pray because it was going to be very hard for me to break up with these foods that weren't good for me. And then number two, I knew that I needed to be transparent. I needed to be open and honest about my journey with people that I might not be comfortable with sharing things with. I needed to push myself to feel uncomfortable so that I could grow and change. I don't know why all of a sudden I felt this, but I just did. And I knew that if I didn't go out and reach out for help and be transparent about my journey, that I was easily just going to fall back and it was going to be another failed attempt. So that's what led me to blogging. I decided that what I wanted to do was create like a virtual journal, an online journal, and track my thoughts, track, kind of how my day is going. And I also was very interested in tracking my weight loss because that's the one thing I was so interested in when I got started with juicing was I wanted to know how much weight can I expect to lose if I decide to juice and not eat for X amount of days. So I did that. I did like a journal, a blog that was dedicated, and every day I would go in almost every day because it drove me crazy, and I blogged about that, about how I had to stop weighing myself every single day. But I would go in every single day for the most part and put what my weight was and how much weight I had lost. I don't want to get too much into advice on your niche and everything here, but I don't necessarily recommend that you go after any health or fitness related niche just because it would be so saturated with other Beachbody coaches. And I've got to tell you honestly, while yes, I do get a lot of leads, and some of my juicing friends do decide to join my challenge groups, for the most part, juicers are very skeptical of any type of shake because they're all about all natural, all natural. We know that Shakeology is all natural. However, I was a juicer once, so I'm speaking from experience and experience of talking to a bunch of juicers and trying to explain what it is that I do now instead of juice coaching, which is what I did before. It's really hard in that sense because a lot of people that are in that health and fitness journey are skeptical of, infomercials. They're skeptical of any type of a shake that promises that you're going to feel better because most promises these days aren't real. And we know that if you change your diet, we know that it's not a magic pill, that you can't just drink one meal but continue to eat the way that you're eating, and then all of a sudden you're going to have a six-pack abs and you're going to be, starring in your own fitness commercial. We know that that's not the case. And so as coaches, what we need to do is realistically set the expectations, of course. But I'm totally getting off topic there. My blogging became very therapeutic for me. It became a way of me getting through my emotions, of me breaking up with these foods that weren't healthy for me, that weren't good for me. And what was awesome about it was that I would put it out there. And Google, I used Blogger in the beginning, and I'm going to make another video, I'm not going to get into it now, about my opinions on Google versus other blogging and websites and everything, so stay tuned for that. That'll be another day. But Google tracking, or on Blogger, they had some sort of a Google tracking analytics type of thing where it showed you how many people were looking at your blog each day, which pages they were looking at, which were your most popular pages, where across the country you were getting the most views, just like all this information. And in the beginning, you know, I would get a couple of people that would look at my, you know, at my page, at my blog, and it kept growing and growing and growing. And sure, I'd have little dips here and there, you know, in my chart, because there's this awesome little chart that it does. But it kept me going. It kept me motivated. It kept me determined. It kept me feeling like I had to be accountable to these people, these strangers that were coming. I knew that at least some of them had to be coming back. If I kept getting more and more and more hits on my page, at least some of these people had to be return visitors. So I used it as a form of kind of journaling, and then sometimes when I was reaching out to people and trying to explain to them that they too could do this, I would pretend that I was writing to my best friend. And I also, one tip is I write the way that I speak. I don't necessarily sit around and worry about whether my sentence is grammatically correct, whether the comma should go here, there, or whether I put too many commas, or it should be a semicolon, or I don't stress over those things. I'm not the most perfect, and I know that a lot of people, you know, really are grammar Nazis, and I'm sorry, I'm not that way. But, you know, I write my paragraphs the way that I think that I speak. So that's just my tip there. And pretend when you're giving advice to people that you're talking to your best friend, that it's a conversation between you and your best friend, and you're just documenting it on paper. Those are my 2 tips real quick. But I loved Google tracking. It was addicting. And so that was my outlet. And I had so many people, because you can put on there your Facebook link and all these, your YouTube link, your Pinterest link, like, oh my gosh, all these other social media links that you have, and people can follow you there. I recommend focusing on the groups, you know, that are important, or not the groups, but the social media that is most important to you, most beneficial to you. Instagram. Sorry, I didn't mean to leave that one out there. I know that is a very important one, Elise. Anyway, I just wanted to let you know that I started this journal back in my blog back in February of 2013. It is almost February 2015, and I've probably not blogged in at least 3 months, probably more like 6 to 8 months, honestly, on my blog. I wish I had checked it before I started. And to this date, I still get people that come to me and add me on Facebook and say that they found my blog, they read my blog, they were inspired by my blog, and they just want help. So, and as you know, as being a coach, that's one of the best feelings in the world. So and they find me, you know, I'm sorry, I don't know if I said this or not, because I've done a couple takes of this, and this is my last one, but they say that they find me by, you know, doing keyword searches on Google, just by looking like for before and after photos. Everybody loves before and after photos, so that's a good keyword to throw in there, especially when you have your before and after photos in there. So anyway, I just wanted to kind of explain to you about blogging in my very first explanation of it. I'm going to dig deeper into the next video. I don't know how many videos this is going to take, so this is part 1 of I don't know how many videos. Thank you guys for watching. You're troopers for sticking it out for this long. I appreciate it. Love you so much, each and every one of you. Mwah.